Hey guys, welcome into Adventures and Abodes. My name is Kelly. And so, yeah, Sedona. Recently, my wife and I went to Sedona for our wedding anniversary, and we loved it. Sedona is absolutely beautiful. It is awesome. And what I plan on doing today is sort of going through with you three things: trails, uptown, and then we stopped at a little quirky shop. So I'm going to give you my overview, my thoughts on Sedona. I'm going to give you a little bit of history about Sedona as well. Let's start at the beginning. How would I rate Sedona? Sedona was, 10 out of 10, 9 out of 10 if you're not an outside, hikey type person like we are. But we did hike. There are innumerable trails. A piece of advice is really be intentional when you go. Source out, seek out, suss out the trails that you want to do so you don't waste any time. This being our first time, we sort of thought this would be a little less confusing, but there were so many trails. So my advice to you is just kind of suss out the trails that you want to do and just have them kind of written down and know where they are and know the times to go. So times of year to go. Sedona is in the desert. It's in Arizona. It is 2 hours north of Phoenix. Yes, I said 2 hours. So you'll fly into Phoenix International Airport and you will drive up to Sedona. It is a beautiful drive through the desert. Pretty busy because there's a lot of people that want to go to Sedona. Now, for us, we stayed right on the outskirts of Sedona, sort of like right when you get into the, sort of scenic area where you can see the Bell Rock and some things like that. We stayed sort of on the south end, not in the uptown area, but we were right on the main fairway there. So all we had to do was jump on the street here and just go. There was a lot of traffic, so getting into uptown sometimes took us 30 plus minutes, even though it was only 8 miles or 9 miles, because there were so many people. So anyway, let's talk a little bit of history about Sedona. Sedona dates back thousands of years. Certainly you are aware that there are Native American or indigenous ancestry there, such as the Sagoa people. They inhabited this area from 500 to 1425 AD. So they left behind these cliff dwellings and rock art and many things which you can still see today, like the Montezuma Castle and the Palaki Heritage Site. There's a modern settlement. In the late 19th century, European settlers arrived, with Sedona being founded in 1902. The town was named after Sedona Arabella Sonoli. This is the wife of the town's first postmaster. She's known for hospitality and for warmth. Why do so many people visit Sedona each year? Well, Sedona is known as a spiritual and an artistic hub. There were plenty of holistic places, be it art, be it crystals, massage and tarot and chakras. It was all there. And because we were a spiritually minded family, this was really something that we're interested in, and we found it very welcoming. The people were super, super nice, by the way. Sedona gained a reputation in the 1980s as a spiritual center due to its powerful energy vortexes. What are vortexes? Vortexes are natural sites believed to emit energy that can enhance meditation, can enhance healing, and also self-awareness. So today, Sedona is a haven for spiritual seekers and for artists and people in that genre. Also, hiking and outdoor activities and art and culture. If you're into any of this, outdoor, spiritual, art and culture, Sedona is the place for you. There are many, many exciting things to do and places to visit and things to see in Sedona. Earlier, you saw the Castle Rock hike, which involved the Castle or the Cathedral Rock hike. The Cathedral Rock hike. And you went inside a cathedral and it's up on a mountain. It's very, very beautiful. It's one of the most famous hikes in Sedona. And fortunately for us, it wasn't very far from our hotel. Chapel of the Holy Cross. They have cheap Jeep tours, the Peak Jeep tours, which go everywhere. We saw a bunch of those. They have the Bell Rock and the Courthouse Butt Loop. Now, the Bell Rock is very famous, and I'm sure if you watch any sort of Western movie, you've seen it via Hollywood. The Bell Rock and the Courthouse Butt Loop. This is easy to moderate trails. They offer incredible views of Sedona, and we hiked halfway up the Bell Rock, and so I can attest to the views from the Bell Rock. You also want to visit the Sedona vortexes. You may want to check out the Rock State Park, the Slide Rock State Park. There's a wonderful art center there, which we visited. It is called, it's a very difficult name to pronounce, but I think I have it down pat now. It is called Talake Pake. Talake Pake. It's an arts and shopping village. There was food, there was art, there were shops. It was really, really eclectic. It was both sides of the freeway. Once you're going up into uptown Sedona, you will do a bypass, and not quite a whole bypass, but you're cutting over in a place called 179. And when you cut over to 179, you will see on both sides of the street Talake Pake. Again, it's an arts and a shopping village. Overall, I recommend, if you like the desert, if you like to hike, and if you like seeing beautiful countryside and seeing beautiful things, I certainly recommend Sedona. I will tell you a few things. Number one, the best times to come, according to the locals, is in off season, which is, later in the year, from October to, January and February. If you come in June, July, areas like that, you're going to be limited to what you can do. Why? Because it's incredibly hot. It is incredibly hot. And if you're like me, you're from the East Coast, you're not used to these sorts of temperatures, it can be very dangerous. A lot of people go out there thinking that they can operate as normal. I can be outside, I can go hike, it's no big deal. Well, it is a big deal. 110 degrees, 108 degrees, it gets very hot in the desert. So I would say if you're going to go out and you're going to hike and you're going to have fun, things like that, number one, please make sure you are really, really up to date on your hydration. Make sure you're drinking water, you're hydrated. Make sure before you go, you start this practice. And while you're there, you maintain it. Number two, I would say as well, begin an exercise regimen. Don't just go out there and start hiking. Start before you leave, because it is extremely hot, it's extremely dry, and if you're not used to those conditions, it can be very dangerous for you. You can get out thinking you're okay, and then all of a sudden you're not feeling great because you've got some sort of heat condition. It's very serious. You're in the desert. What else? The uptown area was really nice. Again, the people were super friendly. And if you like to just kind of walk and be in like either a mountain town or a beach village, and you see the t-shirt shops and the places where you can buy candles, places to eat, and just, all these quirky shops, that's what's in uptown Sedona. It was a really cool place to walk and just sort of venture through. It was very eclectic. On the other side of uptown, if you want to go, shopping and fill up your hotel room with water and food and things like that, there is a Whole Foods there. There's a Whole Foods. Now, I didn't see like a Target or a Walmart or anything like that. They did have them, but they were at least about 20 to 30 minutes away. So we went to Whole Foods and we filled up at Whole Foods and we got what we needed for our room at Whole Foods. The trip back into Phoenix, we decided, because our flight was out early the next, or our final day, we decided just to, instead of getting up and driving to the airport that morning, which is about a 2-hour drive, we simply left our hotel early, got a hotel close to the airport. So we didn't have to do that drive. We'd be close to the airport and we wouldn't have to deal with the traffic. I think that's best case scenario, because when we were leaving, this was on the weekend. Man, the road was full of people, and I mean, just not quite bumper to bumper, but not far from it. So just be mindful that if you are flying out of Phoenix, in and out of Phoenix, that it's 2 hours. It's a 2 hour drive. That's with no accident, no stoppage or anything on the freeway, and that's quite a bit of construction on the freeway. So again, if you're planning to visit Sedona, it is a beautiful, beautiful area of our country. It is 2 hours north of Phoenix, about 40 minutes south of Flagstaff. It's very high elevation. It's about 4,000 feet. They're beautiful red rock, just different things you can see in this area, in terms of mountains. It was absolutely a great trip for us. So I would definitely recommend just do your homework before you go. Make sure you suss out where you want to go, where you want to eat, certainly the hikes that you want to do. I'm just going to let the rest of the video play, and you can see the rest of Uptown and then the different things that we saw there in Sedona. If you have any questions, please feel free to drop them into the comments. I will do what I can to get back to you with the answers. Thanks for checking us out. Please subscribe if you've not done so already.